Hello, everyone. This week, I got a question from a viewer pertaining to sexual energy, and it was a specific question about the twin flame connection. And if you're not familiar with the twin flame connection, I did a series of 3 videos on the topic, and I'm going to leave links to them in the description of this video. So if you want to go back and review these videos, if you're interested in the twin flame connection, you can review that. But the question that was asked by this viewer, I actually wanted to expand upon it, and I want this question to apply to all romantic connections, not just twin flame connections. This can be a question for soulmates or for other romantic connections. So I'm going to answer this specific question pertaining to sexual energy. I'm going to answer it for a broader audience, for everyone who wants to know about how to balance sexual energy within a love connection. I've come to I really enjoy this term love connection. I've kind of stopped using terms like soulmate or twin flames because I find that those terms, those labels, very quickly can lead to attachments, and then we get into trouble. So I like to refer to romantic connections as love connections. So I'm going to answer this question in terms of love connections. So let me read you the question from this viewer. She asked, "Why is there a constant state of desire sexually? I am quite overwhelmed by it. Does this happen to all women experiencing a twin connection?" So again, this viewer's question was pertaining to twin flames, but I'm going to answer it in a more broader perspective. And she used a word in this comment, in this question that I loved, and it's the word overwhelmed. So this viewer feels overwhelmed by her sexual desire toward her partner, toward her twin flame, toward her romantic connection. And the word overwhelmed is perfectly timed here because I'm going to use it as the central piece in answering this question. So first, let me bring us all into a state of knowing who we are. So who are you? Who am I? We are source incarnated. We are infinite beings. I love to use the term that spiritual teacher Wayne Dyer used a lot in describing who are you. He would simply answer, I am. Those are the two best words that can get us closest to our true nature is I am. So that's who you are. I am. You are source incarnated. You are the universe contained in this current physical body. So why am I saying this? I'm saying this because the I am, source incarnated, is never overwhelmed by anything. Source incarnated is never overwhelmed. Who is overwhelmed then? It's the ego. And sometimes not just the ego. It could be the ego combined with various energetic fragments in your aura, for instance. You can have energetic fragments in one or more chakra that compels you into the world of form. And it's the world of form that often overwhelms us. But think of the word overwhelm and then think, the I am is never overwhelmed by anything. It is the ego that's overwhelmed. So I'll give you an example outside of the realm of sexuality to show you how this is true. If you walk into your work environment, for instance, and let's say someone has a table full of sweets, and you walk up to that table full of sweets, and there are donuts, and there's cake, there's cookies, there's all kinds of things. And then you come to me and you say, I was totally overwhelmed by that piece of chocolate cake on that table. It completely took over my desire system. And I would say, really? Does the I am, does source incarnated get overwhelmed by a piece of chocolate cake? And you would say, well, obviously not. But the same applies with sexual energy. This is what I want to show you all. Sexual energy is kind of like a piece of cake. You don't have to be overwhelmed by it. The I am, source incarnated, is not overwhelmed by sexual energy. The I am, the seat of awareness, who you really are, is not overwhelmed by anything. So in the example of this viewer saying that she was overwhelmed by sexual desire, It is the ego that's overwhelmed. It is maybe some fragments in your energetic system that compels you toward another human being sexually. Those can all contribute to you being overwhelmed, but it is never the I am, it is never source within you that is overwhelmed. Now, what's beautiful about the desire system, including sexual desire, what's beautiful about the desire system that pulls us out into the world of form is that the desire system always points us to our inner work. So if someone, for instance, let's say had a lot of emotional work to do and they were emotional eaters, that person would feel compelled onto that piece of chocolate cake. But the chocolate cake itself was not the problem. The chocolate cake and the urge toward the chocolate cake would only be pointing to that person's inner work. And the same can be said of sexual energy. If you feel yourself being so strongly drawn to someone sexually that you cannot hold yourself in the seat of awareness, if you feel so overwhelmed by sexual energy, that is pointing to your inner work. Now, I'm not saying that when you have your sexual energy worked on and balanced, we're looking for balance in life, in everything, including in our own sexual energy. I'm not saying that when you become balanced sexually, you suddenly stop desiring or wanting to have sex with your partner or with other souls. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, when your sexual energy is in perfect balance, then you can begin making love to others without losing yourself in others. So if all of the partners involved in a sexual union, whether two or more, some of us are experiencing polyamorous relationships, so there's no judgment around this. But if you are in a state of alignment with who you are, then sex becomes delicious. It becomes transcendental. It becomes absolutely ecstatic. Because when you are in a state of alignment, you no longer lose yourself in the world of form. So, if you feel overwhelmed, it is pointing to a state of inner work. There's some work to do in terms of your sexual energy. And what work is that? How do you balance sexual energy? That's the second part of the video. There are so many ways to balance sexual energy within yourself. I like doing simple visualization meditations. Look up, there are various schools, but look up the exercise called Breath of Fire. You can Google it. There are various ways to do the exercise Breath of Fire. That's one of them that I use. But I also use simple visualization meditations where I visualize my sexual energy that starts in the genital area in the first or second chakra, and I pull that energy upward, chakra to chakra to chakra, along my spine. You'll notice that as you move sexual energy up, it changes a bit. By the time sexual energy gets to your heart chakra, it changes completely. It's sort of purified in a sense. It becomes higher, 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 and higher. By the time it gets to the third eye and crown chakra, you're in a whole state of being. Now, sexual energy can be beautifully used in this way because it allows you to open up your chakras to expand your inner being. And as you are circulating this energy within you, you'll notice that you become more sexually balanced. And as you become more sexually balanced, you will see that desire no longer overwhelms you. You no longer feel overwhelmed or taken hostage by that desire. And as you feel more separated from that desire, you can sit more comfortably in the seat of awareness without feeling like you're getting lost in the world of form. And at some point, when you become beautifully comfortable, when you become completely balanced in your sexual energy and it no longer overwhelms you, then you can have sex in a broader way. You can have ecstatic sexual experiences because the I am never loses itself in sex. So there you go. I hope I've helped answer this question about the desire system, about sexual energy, about what we can do when we feel almost overwhelmed by our sexual energy. Sexual energy is so beautiful, and when it is balanced, it changes our lives completely, and we can have the most delicious sexual connections with people that are actually transcendental in their experience. But for us to get there, for us to get to a place of balance of our sexual energy, we need to do a little work. We need to separate ourselves and sit more and more and more further back into the seat of awareness. We need to know who we are. Remember this always. The I am is never overwhelmed by anything in the world of form. The I am, God incarnated, Source incarnated, is the beautiful observer of the world of form unfold without getting lost in it. Once you learn not to get lost in your desire system, then you learn that you can play, you can interact with life in a beautiful, beautiful way, because you no longer get lost in it. You no longer need the world of form to complete you, because you are complete in yourself. And when you don't need anything, the desire system sort of disappears on you, because desire is based on scarcity. Desire is based on need. When you no longer need, when you are a perfectly balanced being, perfectly aligned with the source of who you are, then you can play in the world of form. You can interact in the world of form, but never get lost in it. And I also wanted to end this video. I want to make sure that I transmit this information to you without giving you the impression that I am for any type of sexual repression. That's not what I am advocating. So I want to make that crystal clear at the end of this video. When I talk about being in perfect balance of your sexual energy, I am not in any form asking for repression. What I'm saying is, know that you can circulate and balance sexual energy within yourself without needing a partner, without needing to lose yourself in the world of form. And when you balance yourself within yourself, when you learn to circulate and balance your own sexual energy, then when the partners do appear, whether in the form of a twin flame, of a soulmate, or whatever other love connection, when the love connections appear, the art of making love becomes transcendental, because I am no longer clinging to anyone. I'm perfectly balanced in myself. Now imagine if you think sex is good when you strongly desire and get lost in someone, imagine what sex would feel like when you never leave the seat of awareness and your partner does the same. Sex becomes cosmic. It's a cosmic orgasm. Sex becomes transcendental. It becomes that's when you experience oneness, or one of the ways in which you can experience oneness. Sex becomes transcendental when you don't lose yourself in your partner or partners. Okay, I'm done with that for now. I'm leaving links to the twin flame videos if you've never seen them and would like to review that. I'll also leave a couple of links to some external sources for circulating sexual energy, and I'm sure I'm going to come back to this topic soon because I have a feeling I haven't talked a lot about the circulation of sexual energy, so I have a feeling that I'm going to get more questions about it. If you do have any questions about this topic or any other topic, shoot me an email at info@christina-lopes.com. Like my Facebook page. If you enjoy my YouTube videos, watch more. And if you have any other questions, you know where to find me. I hope this answered this question about sexual energy. Have a great week, everyone.